Verse 824. If another mind is set in motion in an uninterrupted succession of deaths, where does it find its dependence, as form is not established in time? If another mind. I think this just means if a mind, for example, is set in motion in an uninterrupted succession of deaths, the mind is the state of ignorance which is caught up in the world of form. And traditionally this is understood as something which carries on from life to life. I remember years ago wondering about this kind of thing. There seemed to be an assumption that, let's just take it for granted that there is this thing called rebirth, that you carry on from one life to the next. But there seems to be an assumption that it follows the arrow of time. My understanding was, well, I must have read somewhere, that time and space are actually the parameters by which the senses order experience. They don't actually have an independent existence outside of the senses. So that being so, it seemed to me that it should be possible to be reborn in the past. Why not? The arrow of time is a subjective phenomenon. Just like space. Although in physics, space and time are given some kind of objective independence, philosophically they're understood as tied in with sense perception. But anyway, all that is just conceptualization, which might be fascinating or it might not be. Let's see if we can get back to something meaningful in this verse. We're asked, where does mind find its dependence? In other words, what does mind depend on? What fuels mind? What fuels mind is form. The attention is attracted to various forms. It could be visual forms or sonic audio forms or feelings, whatever. And it builds up stories about these. Stories about whether these particular forms, these particular discriminations are desirable or not. And this is how the mind is built up. So really we want to just drop this idea of future births, because it ties in with the idea of an individual. In Buddhism they've tried to mitigate that as much as possible. The only births we need to be concerned with are the births which involve what our attention is dwelling on at any particular moment, and what sensibilities are being triggered as a result of that. What sensibilities are being triggered and reinforced. This is our work as spiritual practitioners. We look at what the mind is dwelling on, We look at how it's reinforcing certain sensibilities. And then we can either put the attention onto something else, so perhaps it's dwelling on less harmful aspects of our sensibilities, less limiting aspects of our sensibilities, or ideally, as enlightenment practitioners, we come back to appreciation. We come back to awareness and the appreciation of awareness, and we abide in that. So we don't get concerned with the future or the past. We're not concerned with future states or past states. We're concerned with where the attention is right now and what sensibilities are being fueled right now. And we step back from our sensibilities. And enjoy the liberation from them. The next verse is in a similar vein. If mind is set in motion, somewhere, somehow, the cause is an unreal one. It is not complete. How can one know of its momentary disappearances? So this is saying something similar. The mind is set in motion somewhere, somehow. The cause is an unreal one. The causes are discriminations, and these discriminations are not based on anything real. It's not complete. There's always this sense of wanting completion. That's why the attention's always darting here and there, particularly into various mental scenarios. I've got a good one going on, and I was expecting it because I gave up my part-time night shift job, which means I don't have any regular income. I get quite worked up about this. It's not about not having a regular income, because I can get by for a couple of months, okay. It's the whole process of looking for a job whereby I try and get a regular income. The thought traumatizes me. But this is an example of my sensibilities in play. I'll deal with this when I need to in a couple of months' time. And hopefully I'll have built up a certain strength by then to mitigate the worst aspects of it. But there's no point in dwelling on it now, because this is the time I've given to allow myself, this is the time I've given myself, the next 6 weeks or 2 months, to heal, basically. To let my body heal. So we'll see. But this is the mind set in motion. The cause is an unreal one. It's my sensibilities. I'm worried about the future. I'm looking for completion, for resolution, for satisfaction. And this last question, how can one know of its momentary disappearances? Well, this is relating again, I think, to the idea of rebirth, of death and rebirth. But there's a very important point here. If we are realizing the nature of our awareness, then there are no disappearances, momentary or not. There are various teachings about deep sleep, dreamless sleep. And in this state, you're not aware. There are times you're unconscious, and maybe you die. At some point you'll die, and your awareness will be gone, won't it? But how do you know? How do you know you were unconscious? How do you know you were in deep sleep? This is only when you're thinking about things from a conventional perspective. The next verse goes into this in some detail. In fact, the next few verses are about this. About the eternal nature of awareness. The supposed disappearance of awareness, you can only talk about it from a conventional perspective. When you realize the nature of it, then you know that it's never been away. It can never go away, because it is not subject to time. It's what the world of time and space exists within. So this is an interesting point, and it might be a bit tricky to appreciate. You can only appreciate it though from realizing the nature of awareness, and the next few verses address this. But I'll leave that until the next video.